It is 9 o'clock. AD at 2024. AD at 2024. Boom. And, oh, gracias. Gracias. And I'm kicking off Instagram, guys. I'm live on YouTube. Let's see, do I see Rumble yet? Has Rumble started? Supposedly I'm live on that, so let me just double check Rumble. I'm not seeing it, but I should be kicking off on Facebook soon. Yeah, supposedly, so for some reason, Rumble is not kicking off, but hopefully that will work itself out. We will have a loosey-goosey The Hake Report show. I am looking forward to talking with you guys about some things. I've been teasing about getting to this, I didn't mean to tease, but this I am a man thing, ridiculous in my opinion. And I get it. It might have been tough times over there. I heard that some of those sanitation workers got crushed. Does that have anything to do with unions? Or does that have anything to do with race? I'm a man. But shout out to those sanitation workers who were over in where? Memphis or somewhere? Crazy. Oh, yeah. Hey, we're off on Rumble, I think. Nice. What's up, Rumble crew? It took me a few extra seconds, several seconds. What's up, Xenia? To connect. And I have some other things to share with you and super chats. I did see a Cash App come in. Harmony, thank you as always for the support. The I am a man thing, it's kind of in contrast to actually just being a man and not trying to talk about it and push it and try to be recognized as a man, as the great Booker T. Washington did. It is Men's History Month on the JLP network, Jesse Lee Peterson network, and around the world, Men's History Month. So shout out men. And it's from everyone too. Shout out to the ladies who love men, or who want to anyway, right? You just can't help yourselves. I'm going to turn down this thing, the volume here, so that I don't blast you guys too badly. Oh, the Swifties for Trump. I call myself a Swifter because Swiftie sounds too childish, kid-ish, or almost even girly. But there are Taylor Swift fans, or people who appreciate the brilliance of her music. Even though she's a liberal. She came out as a liberal, supposedly. All musicians are. Some worse than others. Some of them are just, they're conservative, but they're emotionally angry. And then they become more conservative and less good as musicians. But there are Taylor Swift fans who also appreciate the greatness of Trump. And they're for Trump. Huh? Me, Terry, there's this 19-year-old gal, and many others. So, in your face, Taylor Swift, who is garbage according to Come On Man. So, all that, and your calls, some of you guys already on hold. I'm just going to pull up my beautiful scenery here. Let's check out Santa Monica. You hear it? So, anyway, guys, that's blasting, huh? Ooh. Let's just get right on. I don't know how blasting it is. Oh, you can hear it. Let's just get right on with the show. I think. Lord. Hold on. With the show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake la.
So, how you guys doing? Scream louder to make it work, Hake. I am fine. I am. Wearing my Tom like a mug. You a mess, Hake. Tom like a mug with Jesse Lee Peterson. You Tom like a mug. You need to go and get yourself bleached. Because everything you say about black people, and you're sitting there looking like a tar baby. And I was like, what's a mug? And then Joelle Friday, innocent Joelle Friday, who's in the chat, by the way, was like, it's short for M blank. Mug. I'm like, whoa, that's stylish. Shout out to the black stylish people. And so we made a t-shirt out of it. Nice. I once sent a Hake a t-shirt in Chinese large. Who sent me the other? I got two t-shirts from this gal, and then about this gal, and then I will get into the calls and things. I got two t-shirts. One of them, I won't tell you who got it for me, and then another person I don't even know who got it for me. Of Caitlin Clark, beautiful Caitlin Clark. One of them looks like it might be a Chinese knockoff t-shirt. And it fits so weird, I haven't even had the nerve to wear it on the show. But anyway, the other one was in an official, what is it, Indiana Pacers t-shirt? All thick. So, nice. You can get your Tom like a mug t-shirts. Tom is in the uncle, you know. So nice. On rebuildingtheman.com/stores. Rebuildingtheman.com/stores. Very nice. Very, very nice. So, let me tell you guys, before I get to calls, about some stuff that's going on in the world, shall we? So if I take you over here, that's the beach that you heard. This is beautiful Santa Monica. Isn't that nice? I think it's nice. The Santa Monica Pier. That's from a couple of years ago. Not days. So we talk about this I am a man stuff. First of all, these people act like they're so justified. I was arguing with Joe the Snake, my co-host. We jokingly call him my co-host, or some people bitterly. It's a bitter satire. Call him my co-host, not actually. Joe from Phoenix, who was acting like the so-called civil rights movement was justified. Talk about a communist, maybe useful idiot. He's an intellectual, but not very bright. Oh, he's bright in the way that Mays uses it. She uses bright sarcastically. This is from Wikipedia. I am a man. I am a man is a declaration of so-called civil rights and workers' rights. Ridiculous. Often used as a declaration of independence against oppression. What? And against exploitation. Yeah, okay, you're not actually independent, though, because you're kind of demanding that they be nicer to you through guilting them like a woman. You think you're such a man, then why are you thinking and acting like a woman? Look at this diorama. And this dignified-looking black man looking all down and forlorn. These people marching with their cool hats from back in the day. All manly in their build and age and appearance. But then it says, I am a man. And that's lame. I remember seeing these, like this type of imagery in the, I don't know if it was like a DC Talk. Anybody remember DC Talk? Christian so-called rap? It used to be rap. Now it's like pop. Liberal. Or maybe some other album, some other Christian album that I back in like high school. Am I not a man? Is another line. This is from Wikipedia, far left Wikipedia. Okay, so it started notably used among striking union worker advocates. They wanted to unionize. Unions have always been evil at root for the most part, right? I mean, you can find some decent things that they do, but everybody does some things that are like okay. And then another thing, the whole motive the whole motive is evil. And the whole direction is overall evil. You just side with them because they get you some nice pay, get you some union breaks. They supposedly got us the weekend, Saturday and Sunday off instead of just Sunday. God said, take the Sabbath. And then Satan said, no, take 2 days off. Satan. Mama. Or am I wrong? And the so-called civil rights movement at the Memphis Sanitation strike in 1968 with, I am a man, ! Signs to argue for respect. Respect me. And adequate pay. They got like the equivalent of five something an hour in 2022. I think it was like 50 cents a day. So let me show you this. There's all kinds of stuff. Look at this. There's a slave in his chains, and he's all built. He's like, am I not a man and a brother? Because they would call him boy. People were called boy sometimes. Historically, in countries such as the United States and South Africa. Beautiful South Africa, by the way. Look how they destroyed the once beautiful South Africa flag. They destroyed it. The term boy was supposedly used, they call it, as a pejorative, racist insult towards men of color. And slaves. I don't know, I like it. JLP calls like everybody boy. That boy? Or like the Italians. The Italians will call grown men, but younger men, kid. Hey, kid. Because it's, it's like they're older men. I don't know. I like it. I think it's cool. But they want to call it pejorative, racist. I mean, some people will be like mean about it. Boy, get off your knees, boy. I disavow. For the sake of the channel, obviously. Indicating their subservient social status of being less than men. Oh, please. In response, am I not a man and a brother became a catchphrase used by British and American abolitionists, a.k.a. communists. In 1787, Josiah Wedgwood designed the Wedgwood Anti-Slavery Medallion, and that's, I guess, what that is. Engraving of the Wedgwood Anti-Slavery Medallion. Oh, please. Am I overly dismissive? He copied the original design from the Society for Effecting the Abolition of the Slave Trade as a cameo in black and white. Blah, 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 blah. The question, am I not a man, blah, 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 blah. Dred Scott decision. Oh, Dred Scott. Was that an evil thing? I forget. During the so-called civil rights movement, blah, blah, blah. I forget what the Dred Scott case. I remember learning about it as a kid. So let me show you this video. Is this the one that I want to show? Oh, yeah.
In February 1968, in Memphis, Tennessee, some 1,300 sanitation workers, members of Local 1733 of the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, began a strike.
Strike!
This wasn't an ordinary strike. We forged together a coalition of the religious community, the civil rights community, and the labor movement. It was a struggle for freedom, for dignity, for decency, for equality.
Boo!
Back in those days, we had to do this to live. The treatment that we were getting. Sometimes I just feel like tears are coming my eyes.
Tears.
And we just got tired. We had meeting and discussed it and said, we're going to do something about it. Said there ain't but one thing to do, is just to make our move. And you know, a man has got to have a strong mind to go out in the street, leave his job, and go out in the street.
We felt like we would have to let the city know that because we were sanitation workers, we were human beings. The signs that we were carrying said that I am a man, then we was going to demand to have the same dignity and the same courtesy any other citizen of Memphis has.
We are saying that we are determined to be men. We are saying that we are God's children.
Liar, using God.
After a few days, we found that the strike was more than just a recognition and economic strike. It was a social struggle in this society. We talked, they didn't listen. Management and the establishment here wanted no relationship with unions whatsoever.
Good.
The mayor particularly got completely hung up on this one issue, that he was not going to recognize the existence of public unions.
Isha.
When a public official,
This guy's evil,
orders a group of men to get back to work and then we'll talk,
that's right,
and treats them as though they are not men, that's a racist point of view.
Be quiet.
And no matter how you dress it up in terms of whether or not a union can organize, it's still racism. For at the heart of racism is the idea that a man is not a man.
We thought we had
Evil
reached
liar.
an understanding during a meeting of the Public Works Committee. The council will meet tomorrow. Committee Chairman Fred Davis gave us a promise that the council recognize the union and that there'll be some form of dues checkoff for the union.
Dudes.
We were told to meet with the council. When we got there, one of the most crude
Union dues. I say boo to union dues. Let us unionize and be communist socialists or you're racist. Was there anything else that was in this thing that was...
frauds in the many years I've represented working people took place.
When they told me there'd be an honest council meeting today, and you and I would have a chance to talk to this council, I regret I believed them. They lied to me and they lied to you.
Wow. Wow.
We decided to march to the Claiborne Temple. And as soon as we got out there, some of the police officers, not all of them, began hassling some of our folks. And I remember intervening and promised them faithfully that these men did not believe in violence, that the union did not believe in violence.
Yeah, right.
We started a march and we moved down there, and police cars we used to harass us and push us around. And
Harass?
this was a turning point.
I don't know who it was. Somebody hollered and said, break it up. And they just broke right on us. And honest folk got in him. And they sprayed so much of that stuff down my collar until I could feel it look like running down my back.
My eyes, they shot this stuff in both my eyes. Couldn't see nothing.
We built it.
You should have been getting back to work. The evil unions are not about workers and working. They're about, generally, by and large, anger and bitterness and Crimea River stuff.
Into our planning,
I don't care about your mess. There was something else that I wanted to mention. I think it was in this one. They talked about how the couple of guys got crushed. So here's the part of the story that makes you sad.
Today in the Daily Dose, the Memphis sanitation strike.
So listen to this.
Working long hours in every kind of weather, all for a lowly 65 cents an hour, or $5.62 in today's currency.
That's not bad.
When two Memphis sanitation workers were crushed to death by a faulty garbage truck compactor.
Terrible.
1,300 Memphis sanitation workers walked off their jobs when city officials refused to provide compensation to the deceased workers' families. On February 23, 1968, after Memphis Mayor Henry Loeb refused all concessions to the striking workers, police assaulted peaceful protesters with tear gas, prompting Nashville professor and civil rights activist Reverend James Lawson
Evil.
to call on his friend Martin Luther King Jr., with the hope of drawing attention to the strikers' plight. Building on MLK's
Communist.
Poor People's Campaign, which advocated for underprivileged Americans.
Underprivileged.
On March 18th of that same year, King addressed a crowd of some 25,000 people about the dignity of labor by saying, "Whenever you are engaged in work that serves humanity, and it is for the building of humanity, it has dignity and it has worth."
Yeah, so don't be trying to get
10
your
days
dignity.
later, King returned to Memphis for another I Am a Man protest,
How
which
much
led
later?
to the death of an African-American teenager when an outside group infiltrated the Sanitation Workers' March.
Oh, blame it on outside groups.
King would return to Memphis on April 3rd, delivering his "I've Been to the Mountaintop" speech, which proved to be a tragic foreshadowing of his assassination the following day.
I have some very sad news for all of you, and I think sad news for all of our fellow citizens.
Is that JFK?
And people who love peace all over the world. And that is that Martin Luther King was shot and was killed tonight in Memphis, Tennessee.
So that's when they, I guess it's all around the time that they, that all stuff happened, you know? Crazy, huh? What a mess. So that's what went down with the evil I am a man stuff. I remember seeing that. I'm like, yeah, they are men. But I'm like, wait, we already knew you were men. Or they already knew you were men. It's kind of like, oh, evil MLK talking about judging by content of character and something. When in reality, they already were being judged by the content of their character or not, by and large, you know? It's just like the evil Black Lives Matter. Hey, whites, Black Lives Matter. Which is a lie because they're pretending that the whites are not the ones who don't know, are the ones who, hey, what's up, modern day debate? Somebody attacking him. Hey. Yes, like the video, otherwise you become a beta. Whites already knew that Black Lives Matter. The blacks are the ones who don't know that Black Lives Matter. They're the ones throwing away their lives and each other's lives and other whites people's lives and Asians and old people and young people. Wasn't he killed by another black man? I think that was Malcolm X. I forgot who shot MLK. I disavow it. There is one thing I disagree with Mark from Los Angeles on. I think I remember hearing him say that MLK was brought to justice. No, that's not justice, man. Because think about it. If it were justice, justice would have continued. You know, it wouldn't have been, it wouldn't have brought about more evil. His death was used for more evil. Just like the gay bashers. You know the gay bashers? The gay bashers, you ever heard of gay bashers? It was popular, I guess, at one point on some form. I don't know how popular. But people went gay bashing. That became propaganda to push the gay agenda. Just like Anchor Bay was covering the anti-PDF file stuff, how they're abusing the alleged PDF files. And they being whoever's on this self-righteous anti-PDF file slapping them and stuff or exposing them. There's all this kick is promoting it. It's signal boosting it, and it's fighting hate with hate. Fighting evil with evil. So I disagree that this MLK assassination was justice. You know what I mean? Maybe he doesn't mean it in that way. And maybe I'm misremembering. He may not have said that. But I just feel like I remember him having said that. I will get to your calls, guys. There is one line open. But that's a mess. Sob stories, sanitation strike, that old footage, so sick. I am a man, so evil, in my opinion. I think. it reminds me of what went down at the DNC. I caught little glimpses of the DNC, and then I'll get to calls. Hopefully, I'll just be a few more minutes here. The Democrat National Convention in Chicago. I saw this guy, Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr, K-E-R-R, basketball coach, I think. He was at the Democrat National Convention. And then there was this union guy who looked like looked sort of imitation manly, but underneath his blazer, he was wearing a communist-styled t-shirt. You know how communists have really cool design? It's like red t-shirt and then like really sharp graphic black and white design to it. I find it a bit of a turnoff because I already know what it means. And it's always for something girly and evil and devilish. Like it was calling Trump a scab. He took off his blazer and said, Trump is a scab, because he's a union. And I learned scab from the evil, probably Disney movie Newsies, from when I was in, elementary school or junior high. I saw this movie called Newsies, Disney. It's a musical. It has Batman in it. The guy who played Batman, Christian Bale. He talked like he has this Boston or New York or something accent. Oh yeah, probably New York. I reject. Hey, Your Honor, I object. On what grounds? On the grounds of Brooklyn, said one of the Newsies. Nice. On the grounds of Brooklyn. But they're like, he didn't strike with the people because they're like, Pulitzer and Hearst, they think they got us. Do they got us? No! Because they're not getting paid enough or something. They're complaining. Scabs are good, says Dan Clifton. Festering wounds are not. Yeah, you better hope that your blood coagulates or clots? Clots at the skin level, not inside the... Because a scab is a clot, right? I don't know. Whatever. It turns into a scab to protect the wound. Nice. But that union guy is like, oh, Trump is a scab. Because evil Kamala Harris sided with the ingrate, angry, working class as opposed to actual working people. Sandy Cortez spoke after him. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And she's all working people. Oh, I'm like, oh, you're slick. Your speechwriter has high verbal IQ, calling them working people, even though they're not. Working people includes Trump. It includes Elon Musk. Those are working people. Those guys work more than probably all of us combined. And they get us to work based for what's right. Hake is a 45-year-old man-child. Fair point, Ned Post, but I'm glad you're still in the chat checking it out. I will not confirm nor deny. 43, but basically 45. There was a guy who would say, Hake, you're almost 50. I'm like, that's true, actually. Closer to 50 than I am at 25. But all this name-calling and immature, oh, Trump is a scab. He wants people to work. And he wants fairness. If life were going better, if the economy were going smoother, as opposed to what the Democrats and the rhinos get going, by being soft and bending and breaking the rules and letting the illegals in and increasing minimum wage and addressing symptoms and not the root issue. Trump wants to get to the root issue oftentimes, whereas these people just want to address symptoms. Then the economy would be doing fine and they wouldn't be just saying, oh, demonizing corporate greed. You're greedy. How about human being greed? No, we want to go after corporate greed. Our greed is better than their greed. Because the Democrats and the union people are greedy. A shout out to the union people who actually work. There's a lot of union people who like Hake and JLP, and they don't like it when I bash the unions. But I bash them on righteous grounds, on the grounds of Brooklyn, because they're for Democrats by and large. Like, you say you're a teacher in California, you're forced to pay union dues, and those union dues go to support Democrats, which are counterproductive to the state and to the kids and to the teachers, really. We support teachers. Evil Steve Kerr, however you pronounce that name, Kerr. He was like, we need a leader. And a leader is humble and listens to good advice and doesn't think he has all the answers. And he is honest and he has courage and this and that and this and that. And it was all great things that I agreed that a leader is. And I'm like, all those things are Trump. But at the end, he's like, and that's why I support Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. They embody those things. No, they don't. Tim Walz, I know a little bit less, but Kamala Harris, please. Total phony. Oh, yeah, she served herself. She served the people. What a mess. So that was I caught that snippet of the so-called Democrat National Convention, and I found it was very patriotic looking on the outside. For once, they have like the appearance of patriotism. Confusing what a leader is. So, yeah, I'm getting more and more convinced MLK was not for what's right, because he was pro-union even back then. I mean, that's the only time that he was pro-union, because he's not alive today. Rest in peace. Anyway, take some calls, boy. 888-775-3773. The lines are full, guys. I got to get to Mark in Los Angeles, California, who's on the line here. Mark, I mentioned your name. What's up, man? Thank you for calling and holding.
Yes, sir. Thanks for taking my call. There's so much I want to try to get through this so I don't hold you up.
Okay.
First of all, on the I am a man thing,
yeah,
we had a countersign to that. Reverend Ralph Forbes, at the time of the Civil Rights March in '63, had a banner. They don't want civil rights. They want special rights.
Yep.
And that holds true today.
Yeah.
That sign holds true today. I don't know if you're familiar with Reverend Forbes.
Nope.
But he was a very patriotic man. He lived in Glendale, and he was the first NS leader in California. Then Joe Tomasi took the reins. Okay, now I'll get to my point. The clown from Phoenix wanted a better definition of a successful white supremacist. He wouldn't accept Trump, Vance, what's his name, Musk, or Vivek. Those weren't good enough. So let's go with the Founding Fathers. By today's standards, the Founding Fathers would be considered white supremacists. They owned slaves, most of them, and they didn't believe in racial equality. And they were all successful. So if the scoundrel from Phoenix is listening, what is the question going to change again? The country was founded on white supremacy. So sure, they were our heroes. They were patriots.
Yeah, and you're saying whites. Do you mean white supremacy based on your definition of it or their definition of it?
Well, kind of both.
Okay.
They believe. Well, no, I mean they believe. I don't necessarily believe being a slave owner means, that you're a racist, but it could mean that. It doesn't mean you believe in equality, that's for sure. So the Founding Fathers are a perfect example of successful men who were white supremacists. Now, I want to get on to this second point. This guy calls himself Optimist, offered $500 to ban me and the scoundrel from Phoenix. I'll tell you what, Hake, I'll take that. Not the $500. Give it the bond, and I'll stay off the air for a year, and then you got to ban the clown from Phoenix. Otherwise, this fake optimist who's really a pessimist, if he doesn't get his way with both of us banned, he may not give the $500. But I would take him up on that, Hake. Take the $500. I'll listen in every day. I'll still call Joel, and I'll still call the anchor baby.
Nice.
But he didn't say anything about those shows. But just keep that in mind. put his money where his mouth is. And one other, and I'll get to my third point quickly. There's a clown in the comment section, Lord of the Lies, who doubts my time in the military. Now, I told you what branch I was in yesterday.
Yeah.
I didn't announce it, but I told you privately. I have paperwork to prove I was in. If that clown who runs his mouth like a woman, and he may be a woman or a trans, who knows? If he wants to put his money where his mouth is, I'll send the DD-214 to you. You can verify it's true, and then he could pay up. I doubt if the coward will even speak to this, though. Okay, that's that. And finally, I want to say at the Democratic convention yesterday, I don't know the woman's name, black woman, and she's co-chair of the DNC.
I saw that.
She claimed Mount Rushmore was racist.
Oh, Lord.
So these people are evil, man. Just take a look at that nasty crowd. Those aren't Democrats. Those are communists. They call themselves Democrats, but in reality, they're communists. And they're supporting two communists. So any feedback on anything I've said?
No, I agree. The Democrat Party, I mean, they put that socialist, open socialist, basically communist, Sandy Cortez on stage, and she's pretending like she would go back to the bar to work as like a bartender and taking omelet orders because work has dignity. Then go back, evil woman. Yeah, they are communists.
I agree.
They're putting her on stage. That's communism.
I saw that.
Yep.
It was hard to watch.
Yeah.
Are you going to take Optimus up on his $500?
I don't think
deal?
so. Not at this point. Not at this time. I am pondering it. I have put it in the suggestion box, but I'm really not seriously considering it. I don't think, because I want to be led more by the Spirit and by my own wisdom within. Not my own, but the wisdom within, rather than the whims of callers and super chatters and people like that. But I do appreciate his suggestion. But even though it's great, Bond could use the money. I enjoy talking to both of you guys, and I don't see any reason at this point, even though you both have said edgy things, him probably maybe even worse than you. I still think it's worth having you guys on at this time.
No, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking, if this Optimus guy doesn't like what I have to say, why doesn't he just stop listening or fork over $500 to donate the bond? And I won't call. At least I won't call for a year. I mean, to your show directly, and it'll hurt me because I enjoy calling.
Yeah.
But this scumbag wants to shut me up and he's going to pay.
Yeah.
I take advantage of that.
Nice.
And finally, do you agree that the founding fathers were, in the words of the left, like the clown from Phoenix, do you believe that they were white supremacists?
You know, the way that they use those words, sure, if you want to believe it that way, but I don't even really believe in the white supremacy thing. I think whites should be able to be allowed to run their own country. But if we whites are not strong enough to hold on to our country, then so much for that superiority or that strength, you know. So
we've gotten weak.
Yeah, definitely.
The white race has gotten weak. I mean, I don't know if white supremacy is the term to define the founding fathers.
Right.
But by today's standards,
I know
they would be banned. They wouldn't be allowed on social media. They'd be in jail probably. And don't forget, the criminals, like the ones, or I should say the commies and criminals that were at the convention, a lot of them believe that the Constitution was just a piece of paper written by a bunch of old white men.
Right.
They don't respect it. They want to take away our First and Second Amendment rights. That bozo in Phoenix, if he could, he'd censor you. I know you say you enjoy talking to him. I had no intentions of trying to get you censored, and I've never given a death wish to anybody on this air.
Nice.
He has, and he gets away with it. I'm not blaming you. It's your show. But, you give him a lot of slack, and he really hates me. He hates you. He wants to take Jesse off the air. He was hoping Trump would have died, and you know what he said about Asamoah.
Yeah,
so
it was terrible.
I really need to say much more. But anyway, hey, God bless you, and I appreciate what you do. You actually provide a public service. and I really appreciate you.
Cool, man. Thank you, Mark in Los Angeles. Take care.
Thank you, Hake. Bye-bye.
Bye. And, oh, man. And, terrible. I let the click happen. What a klutz. Is klutz Yiddish? Nice. Thank you again, Mark. To the point. Joe in Phoenix, Arizona, on the line here. Joe, what's up?
My goodness, we all need a shower after all that filth and insanity you just heard from your other co-host there. I wouldn't even bother to address any of that nonsense and insanity.
Good. Oh, so you wouldn't agree that, would you agree that those founders were white supremacists, far right, and successful?
Of course not. They were simply just men of their times.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so then how come you're acknowledging they're men of their times? Does that include the fact that like Thomas Jefferson and maybe, I don't know if George Washington and some of these other guys owned slaves? They were just men of their times. They weren't necessarily evil for it. They may not necessarily have mistreated their slaves. They just owned slaves because that's what people did. Men of those times did. Especially
if you read the Jefferson letters, it's clear he was madly in love with Sally Hemings. So that blows Himmler's
but wait.
Argument all out of the water.
Wait, what? What was your point about bringing up this?
So that blows Himmler's stupid insanity. I mean, the guy is just a know-nothing bubblehead. Blows it out of the water. Anyway.
Wait, but you completely kind of sidestepped my question. Would you agree that Thomas Jefferson and all those guys were men of their time?
That's what I said. They're men of their times, and slavery was a reality then. That's all it was.
Oh, okay, so they weren't necessarily evil just because they owned slaves.
I still say slavery is evil, and a lot of them did. I shouldn't say a lot of them, but some of them did actually end up freeing their slaves. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you like my Sam Houston story that I covered on the Jesse Lee Peterson show back on White History Month? I don't know if you caught that.
I missed that. I missed it.
He believed in educating his slaves. He wouldn't free his slaves because he knew that sometimes if he were to free them, they would get persecuted. And so he didn't free them until maybe later, but he made sure that they were educated, they could read, they could write, they could cipher, which I think is to do math. And
well, that's right. We'd talk about that because I said that was very, very dangerous for him because it was quite literally against the law to educate your slaves.
Right. Yep. So, and was it against the law in every state? Out of curiosity, because it wasn't against the law because that was in Texas, I guess. Sam Houston, and it couldn't have been national law. The federal law wouldn't have outlawed slaves learning to read, would it?
I believe it was in most jurisdictions, local jurisdictions.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's federal law. Yeah.
Anyway,
James Earl Ray shot MLK, a white guy, not a black guy.
And that's confirmed. There's no valid conspiracy theory questioning that.
Oh, there's always conspiracy theories, but it seems pretty well settled that it was James Earl Ray.
And it was former Nation of Islam guys, or maybe Nation of Islam guys who were current members, I don't know, who shot Malcolm X.
They say it was that Louis Farrakhan was involved, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I mean, Louis Farrakhan. I saw footage of Farrakhan gloating after it. He seemed to be gloating.
Yeah, absolutely.
What a mess.
Okay. Dred Scott, I'll give you a quick synopsis. Don't want to bore you with all the details, but basically he was a slave in Alabama. He moved with his owner to different states, ended up in Wisconsin, which was a free state. His owner left him there and his wife, he was allowed to marry, and went back to a slave state and he leased out Dred Scott and his wife there in Wisconsin.
Leased them out? So he let another slave owner use them for a while?
Correct.
Okay, interesting. And so what happened?
Scott took the radical approach of saying, listen, I'm in a free state now. My owner is not even here anymore. I should be a free man. And he took it to court. And it went all the way up to the Supreme Court, which was incredible for that day and age. And
the whites have always been quite fair. We treat people fairly. We give them their day in court if we can, if we trust the courts. And if not, then we sometimes... Well, anyway, go ahead. I'm going to not talk about lynching.
Yeah, the Supreme Court ruled that a black man had no rights that white man was bound to respect, and ruled that he was still a slave, unfortunately.
Did he say that black men have no rights that are white men? Was that the literal words, or is that your interpretation?
No, but I can't say it's line for line, but it was pretty much close to that language, yes.
Now, is it talking about former slaves or people who are slaves or have been slaves? Because there were freed black men who were slave owners themselves. And so those slave owners would have some, quote-unquote, rights, right, against the...
I don't think so. It's been a while since I read the ruling, but I believe it said black men.
Okay. Well, I mean, it was a white country.
You mean white men were in power? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they founded the country. It's a white country.
I don't know what you mean by founded, but I'll leave that one alone and move on.
Okay.
Okay. Just to be clear, I'll say this one because I really feel like the Cold War is reigniting, and I don't want that because it's just, I mean, it's almost like I'm taking advantage of a mentally retarded person, so I'm not going to get back.
Oh, Collar War. I thought you said Cold War. The Collar War. No, okay.
Collar War, yeah.
Your war with Mark. Yeah.
With Himmler, yes. So, to be clear on the ionopollution A.
Yeah.
It wasn't...
Why are you bringing that up? Go ahead. Whatever.
This is clear, because he wasn't even talking about the Jewish people. We were talking about Eisenhower's immigration policies. And
Operation WB.
It was you and he talking, and I was listening in. And you know I keep a detailed record of the insanity and pure evil that is Himmler and, and what he says.
You would. Why does that not really surprise me?
Well, he's kind of getting
love keeps no record of wrongs. Why do you keep a record of supposed wrongs?
I don't have any love for evil, and he is pure evil. That's what he is.
But anyway, you should love people, whether they're evil or not.
No, I rebuke evil, and that means I rebuke that devil that is Himmler.
But Jesus loved his enemies. He said, "Forgive them, Father, they know not what they do."
I am not as good as Jesus.
Well, then you're not a Christian, because Christians are supposed to be Christ-like.
I do my best, but I'm not as good as Jesus.
I know, but you didn't even sound like you're trying to do your best. You're like kind of proud of hating Mark.
I never said I hated Mark.
Yeah, you said you have no love for him. That if you have no love, and there's definitely some animus there. Anyway, make your point about this FS thing. I guess
you were talking about Eisenhower's immigration policies, and Himmler said that he would like to see that happen to all people of color, and to self-deport. And you asked him, well, what if they didn't want to leave? And that's when he said, "But the people of he said that not the N-word, but the other N-word. If they did not want to self-deport, then he would be okay with an ionopollution act, which means genocide." So it had nothing to do with the Jews. He's lying yet again. That's all he does. If he's talking, he's lying. So that's what I mean. He called for genocide. I called for the ending of one evil person. He called for a genocide of an entire group of people.
No, you're reading way into it and justifying. And whether you're killing one or all, that's evil. So you can't be like, oh, I'm less evil than him. There is no less, because if you're evil, you're evil. And you're not really a reliable witness, because you misinterpret and mischaracterize stuff that I've said to you. You misinterpret and mischaracterize Trump and Jesse Lee Peterson and others. So I don't even believe that it went down exactly the way that you're saying it went down with Mark. So, but you can have your petty,
none of that's true. But
petty misinterpretation like a woman does. You can have it.
I know you got to protect Himmler in your mind.
No, I'm not protecting him. I'm just protecting from the illusion that you are a reliable witness just because you keep records or something, according to you.
Says the guy who admits he knows nothing. So
who said? Says the guy what?
He admits that he knows very little. But
Yeah.
That's okay.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
At least I know that I know very little. You don't seem to know that you know nothing.
Sure.
Right?
You ever watch Game of Thrones?
I have seen bits of it.
You are definitely Jon Snow. But anyway.
Oh, that sounds like a compliment. That guy's a Chad. Isn't he the Chad?
No, you missed the joke. There's an ongoing joke in that series that says, "You know nothing, Jon Snow."
Oh, okay, nice.
That's okay. Yeah.
But I don't care. At least I'm a know-nothing Chad.
Okay, well, I think that's it. That's all I had for today. Have a good day, James. I know we won't get into the whole. We'll save it for another day about the whole.
Oh, the discrimination thing that you started to ask me about.
Civil rights was bad, but that's okay.
We'll talk about it another day. Nice talking.
Yeah, have a good day.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, boy. I was all nervous because I almost forgot to hang up before the click. Shout out to Joe in Phoenix, Arizona. Let's plow through a few more calls, shall we? Hopefully. Jeff in Louisiana, thank you for calling and holding there, man. Appreciate you. What's up?
Man, nobody's required to pay union dues, right? You can join the union, you can drop out of the union. You're not required to pay them.
Oh, let's say if you're a teacher, you're talking about, have you been part of a union that
Yes, I have. I've been a part of a union. I'm retired now. They're on strike now. But people that don't join the union don't pay union dues and they can work. That's why they're called scabs.
Nice. Well, in the state of California, I don't believe that that's the case for the teachers union. Like, you are forced to join the teachers union, and you're forced to pay those union dues, I think.
Well,
there are states, and you may live in one such state, called right-to-work states. I think Rand Paul was for that, and I know that in Wisconsin, Scott, blanking on his name.
Yeah,
there are right-to-work states where you have the right to work and not be part of the evil union.
I tell you, man, some people are union members are so brainwashed, it's unbelievable. Because like the last time we went on strike, one of our best workers who wasn't part of the union come in and got his truck ready and pulled out, and everybody treated him like crap, and they still treat him like crap.
Yeah.
Because he crossed the line. Well, dude, you got bills to pay. You got to work.
Right. And
I mean,
they talk like they're fighting for justice or for their rights, but some of this stuff has nothing to do with rights or justice. It's just that it's kind of economically hard times, and so everybody's not winning.
The thing is, though, man, is every money you put that money into a union pot, right? You pay union dues every month.
Yeah.
Once or twice a year, they have a barbecue or cook a fish fry or something. And if you work a job like I worked, you ain't got time between 1 and 3 to drive 100 miles to go play fish. Now you're on a job, you're working.
Wow.
You're trying to think. So there goes your money pissed off.
Yeah.
And then when they go on strike, when they go on strike, you sit home and don't get paid. But the president of the union, all them people, the higher ups in the union, they all dip in that union fund that you pay into every month, and they're getting paid. So they're paying their bills.
Yeah. Yeah, the union bosses are just making so much money off of, and the unions themselves, like the organizations themselves, make so much money and do so much evil stuff. Like, they don't really provide value to the world. Yeah, maybe they get some sweeter deals for the useful idiots for whom they collectively bargain. Go ahead.
There's one good thing, and it's also a bad thing about the union.
Okay.
If you're a union member, the company can't. If you're not a union member, say you come in tomorrow, you're not a union member. Say Jesse's just pissed off. He did something really pissed him off. He say, "Hey, you're fired. Get out." You can't do that in the union.
Okay.
They have to write you up so many times, and you get put on a verbal warning, a written warning, on all this crap, and you get put on 3 days. Like, I've been suspended for 1 day, and I've been suspended for 3 days.
You have, personally?
Yeah, yes. I got suspended for 3 days for not having a ladder strap and not having a hard hat, Basically, I went up a 40-foot ladder with nothing on safety precautions.
Whoa.
But I was working on power line. I went up there and I didn't know because I knew the deal was it was going to be screwed because I had to drop a helper ticket and I won't be able to fix it. And I was trying to get off. And I knew what it was, so I just went for nothing on. So, I mean, I got spent 3 days for that with no pay. But that's the thing with unions is there's good and bad in it. But,
yeah.
At the end of the day, is the higher ups are getting paid and you're not when you go on strike. It's like Friday, I had a buddy that worked for more of the same company. At 1:30 Friday, he was on a job and I sent him a text, said, we're going to strike at 2 o'clock. The 2 o'clock kid is shut down, leave the job, go home. Now he's not getting paid.
Wow.
And they've been working this contract for 6 months, trying to hammer out the final details, and now they're not, now they're not getting paid. That don't work for me. I got bills to pay.
Yeah.
That's my problem.
Yeah.
But no, I called in. One question I want to ask you, different topic.
Okay.
The question I called in for was, I just want to know, honestly, you showed that video at the beginning of the show, the civil rights movement.
Yeah.
I just want to honestly, what does that do? What are you trying to accomplish? Or what does that do for you to show the videos from 60 years ago, talk about the civil rights movement? As you can see over time, we can talk about stuff happened 5 years ago. It doesn't make a difference. Nobody goes back and looks at themselves or looks at what happened.
True.
And changes themselves. It just happens over time with progressive society. I mean, it wasn't black people talking about slavery. You do quit slavery. Eventually, somebody in the government, a white person, said, this ain't right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we changed the course. So, what does the whole organization get out of going back and rehashing that every day?
I like to cover it. I hadn't seen a lot of that footage before. I didn't know the backstory. And I like to decipher and pick apart some slogans that we've accepted that many in society have accepted, such as judge by content of character and not color of skin, or I am a man, and stuff like that. I like to hear what the backstory was and relate it to today. Like you'll notice I talked about the unions back then, and then I talked about the union speech at the Democrat National Convention and how none of it, I mean, you can say, they had some valid complaints maybe, but they were going way too far, crying racism and saying lies about Trump and Kamala. My point was these are wolves in sheep's clothing, and they're a contrast to actually being a man like Booker T. Washington encouraged. Just work, put your head down and work and live your life and make yourself valuable, rather than trying to guilt people and shame people into respecting you.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I respect that. I ain't gonna argue.
Nice.
I'll let you go. My last point is, back in the 60s, my grandma owned a diner.
A diner?
And a diner. She owned like a breakfast house, so I owned a diner. And MLK come into her diner and was spouting all that crap one day, and she refused service to him.
Wow. Your grandmother refused service to MLK?
Yeah.
Based.
Because we're in the South, he's coming spewing all the bull crap. She refused service and sent him out.
Whoa. Congratulations, Grandma. Was she mean about it, or was she politely declining?
My grandma was sweet as well. She was a school bus driver for years.
Okay.
But she just she's kind of like us. She sees what they're, she can see, people wanting equal rights and stuff. But when you come out and you say, well, I want equal rights, but now we got them, you need to make up for 300 years ago.
Interesting.
Nobody.
There is no making up for the past. There is zero making up for the past. They'll never be happy.
No, let me go into Italy and ask the Italians what they're getting for the old Roman times of the Colosseum and stuff. They're not getting nothing.
Right.
Because we live our life day by day.
That's right.
We're in the present. We're not in the past. We can't. What happened in the past happened in the past. Nothing we can do about it.
So true.
We can look at things they did and see what's wrong, but we can't make up for it. It's not my responsibility to make up for somebody did something 300 years ago. Maybe my great grandpa.
Yeah.
I had no control over what he did.
Right. And there is people always wrong one another. And the best thing is to move on and forgive.
Man, somebody, I guarantee you, when you live every day, somebody's going to wrong you today at some point.
That's right. Whether they mean to or not. They may be trying not to wrong you.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's like at this point now where if you try to be nice, people take it as being condescending and rude to them because you're trying to be nice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It makes them worse, and it's because it's weakness, and it's the wrong motivation, trying to appease.
Yeah, man, I ain't going to hold you up, man. Let's the other calls. I was going to hold you for that.
Great call, man. Appreciate you. Thank you, Jeff.
Cool.
Bye. I felt that tension rise up in my belly about not wanting to hear that click. Hake's lack of peace. We're at the top of the hour, guys. I will get back to your calls. There is one line open, 1-888-775-3773. But I'd like to get to some super chats over on, this is not a super chat, but I like to shout out the beautiful IG Lion's Den. Nobody likes you, says Enrique. Thank you, Enrique. I'm not sure who he was talking about. Are you talking about MLK? Nobody likes him? No, everybody likes MLK, except for those who don't. Sorry, I'm sad 2014 says, I don't understand the whole Chad thing. Oh, Chad just means somebody who's handsome and gets chicks. I disavow. Is there any way Jeff can speak a bit clearer? And he spells it the Toys R Us giraffe Jeff way. But I think it's Jeff. I've always spelled it Jeff. I don't remember whether I've asked him. He sounds gurgled and numbly. Yeah, his nickname is Mumbles over where he's from. One of his nicknames, Mumbles. Some people compare him to this guy this mumbler from King of the Hill or something. Hi, Ivana. She says, hi, Hake. Yeah, sorry, I'm sad. You have to listen closely. What's up, Bethany, over in the Facebook crew? Let me check my Kick and Twitch. I rarely check Kick and Twitch. I'm also live on Punchy. What's up, everybody, over on Punchy? I don't see any new chats on Kick. I see mainly my own chats on Twitch, which is fine. I don't care if you guys join over there. But many super chats over on Buy Me a Coffee. Let me double check on Rumble. What's up, Xenia? She's a monthly supporter. Need some puffy paint shirts. Ooh. Garbage men are prima donnas where I'm from. Xenia. Whoa. Talk about those unions, those wannabe union workers who striked and said, I am a man. And that evil reverend's like, I agree with, we'll make a deal, but get back to work. Be a man about it. What a mess. I got a bunch of super chats, and I was remiss in my duties to get to all the coffees yesterday. So let me take you on over to those coffees and see what I can do. Pardon this strange interlude. Look at that beautiful desktop. So cool. That's no credit to Hake. That's not Hake's doing. But let's see. Here's that Memphis thing. Okay, so I think my coffee's over here. Oh, yes, indeed. So let me zoom in on this one and say, this is what Mark was complaining about. Mum Raw bought a coffee. New suggestion for the box. My suggestion box, $250. 250 bones to ban Just Joe until the end of the year. He's a mess, says Mum Raw. Thank you, Mum Raw. I shall take your suggestion and put it into my suggestion box. And he is a mess. Yesterday, I argued with him for 20 minutes. That was unwise. Maybe Hake is the mess, and you're just not realizing it. Although it's fair. Joe, too, is a mess. So let me refresh this, because there was a ton more Super Chats. Chitara bought a coffee. Mark has proven himself. King Solomon said in the Bible to split the baby, and Mark answered, do not split the baby. The price on Mark's ban is revoked. Price for Joe is $250. Oh, yeah, there you go. Mark has proven himself as a solid person, is what he's saying. He's the good mother, the true mother. You know what I mean? Because it's a beautiful story. I saw it in cartoon. And also I remember either reading about it in the Arch books or reading about it in the actual Bible or hearing the story or both. But you'll hear JLP reference this oftentimes, where a father and mother will divorce. And Jesse's like, don't cut the baby in half. Just give it to the mother. The mother's already going to destroy it. And you work on you. It's the best thing you can do for your child. You work on you. The best thing you can do for somebody whom you think you love or want to love. Work on you. Nice, huh? Nice. But in the story of King Solomon in the Bible, King Solomon was very wise, and one incident of his wisdom, according to the story in the Bible, was two women were both claiming to be the mother of this child, this baby. And so King Solomon is like, fine, we can't decide who's is the baby. So we will cut the baby in half, and you guys get it. Get one half each. And the evil mother, whose baby it was not, said, fine, let's do it. And then the actual mother is like, no, don't kill the baby. Let her have it. And King Solomon was like, you're the mama. You're getting the baby because you wanted to give up your child because it's your child and you love your baby. Isn't that wise? King Solomon, a clever man, according to the story. Who wrote that book? Who wrote that story? I wonder. Very nice. Chi Tara. Cool. Chris Person 77 says, FYI, end of hour 2, Hake report, rainfall story. It's pronounced Brenda Bergeron, not Bergeron. Oh, my bag. It's French. Oh, okay. Oh, you're probably referring to Hake News at the end of hour 2. Hake News. Let me show you guys this Hake News thing. Okay, well, I can find it rather than showing it to you. Bergeron, not Bergeron. Brenda Bergeron, Deputy Commissioner of the state of Connecticut. Deputy Commissioner at the state's Division of Emergency Management and Homeland Security described how the rain produced unprecedented flooding that has destroyed communities. We're talking about rainfall in some areas in the 1,000-year level. Rain that's only supposed to come once every 1,000 years. That much of rain, said this Brenda Bergeron. Thank you, Chris Person. 77. Very cool info. Okay, and then I believe that this is a longer super chat from Ego is Real, 3 coffees. Nice conversation with Kaz Sunday. That was Atheist Edge. TheHakeReport.com/appearances if you want to find the link to that. Does he push potential inaccuracy of the Bible to assert that God does not exist? That I don't know, if that was his motivation. Maybe that's partly why he turned away. I don't know. The historical accuracy of the Bible has been settled for a long time. Faith is simpler than that. Christians say in the beginning God created, and atheists say everything came from nothing. He may be missing the point that Christians don't believe in the Bible, they believe in God. I liked your assertion that people read into the Bible what they want. The Bible may contain surface contradictions. For example, the heart is wicked and no man is good, but bad fruit does not come from a bad tree. Out of the good treasure of the heart comes forth good things, but people are studying and not knowing. They're hung up on words, and words can be used in different ways, stuff like that. So you can say the same statement, and it can be stated in a true way and a false way. Same words, same exact wording. Misapplied. So often, women misapply things. Anyway. But people are studying and not knowing. Can humble people say they are humble, or are they busy being humble? Can Christians say they are Christians, or are Christians known by their love? Does a man need to say, I am a man? Or is a man just busy being a man? And not say, I'm a man. Kaz himself is mixed race, and he's studying biology to say diversity is beneficial, but he's grasping. Yes, there are environments where different plants and animals symbiotically exist. And they help one another. But that is not the norm, and it is fragile. There are many examples of species migrating and destroying habitat where there are no natural predators. Bullfrogs, for example. Bullfrogs in like southeastern Arizona, they are a what's called exotic species, and they just took over. And so I knew one case where people were stomping bullfrogs, and they were environmentalists stomping bullfrogs. Terrible. But anyway, in the human body, cells from one organ encroaching on another organ is infection or cancer. Using Kaz's argument, if there's one mistake in the Bible, then it's false. If that's what he was arguing. Then if there's one example where diversity doesn't work, then diversity is not beneficial. Yeah, it can be used for good or evil. It's good or bad. Kaz says the United States was founded on white supremacy. Did he say that? Wow. And that, oh yeah, he did. And that America is an idea. Did he say that? I know I've heard like Ben Shapiro and others say that. What he's missing, shout out to Ben Shapiro, is that a nation is a people, not an idea. That's right. You know who has that down is Lin Yan-Shin. How many black people do you expect to find in North Korea? Or how many Mexican people live in Japan? If diversity is beneficial, Kaz should agree that American Indian reservations are beneficial because European settlers introduced them to diversity. Interesting. We introduced the Indians to diversity. Your nations, your American Indian nations need to be more diverse. Not sure I understand that racism exists and that it's bad. Is discrimination judgment without evidence? Stereotypes must have some utility and exist for a reason. Perhaps you could elaborate. Yeah, stereotypes happen for a reason. Sometimes it's a right reason based on like based on how you behave, whether good or bad. And sometimes it's based on a lie or an illusion or a popular smearing. Like whites get smeared as PDFs, which is per capita not true compared to other races. And then they also get smeared as racist, which also is per capita not true compared to how other races are unfair towards other races. So, yeah, whites are like the fairest to the other races, and partly because they have decent families, they're also not as PDF per capita. But anyway, thank you guys for your coffees. Very nice, in my opinion. Arguably so, right? Nice. We are, is this where I was? Nice, cool, look, the Hake Report, Santa Monica. Shout out, guys. Thank you for those coffees. Appreciate that. Let's get back to some calls, I think. Oh, here I am. I'm switching back and forth between what is it? Mac and PC, and I'm thinking, oh, I'm clicking like function or control when I need to be hitting command. I'm like, how come it's not refreshing? Anyway, let's get back to calls, guys. William in California is on the line. William, thank you for calling and holding. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, man. How you? Excuse me. I'm doing okay. How you doing?
Doing well, thank you.
Good, good. Happy Men's History Month.
Thank you. You as well. It says William in Ocala, Florida, for some reason.
Oh, that's David, right?
Yeah, I think my my call screener is confusing you with.
Yeah.
It's William from California.
Yeah, they got so many. You got so many caller wars, man.
Indeed.
I like the news. That stuff. It's okay for entertainment, but you know, let's just leave Joe alone and leave Mark alone. They believe in what they believe.
That's
Mark,
right.
You did good, man. You opened the bomb bay doors, and as usual, he dropped some bombs.
That's right.
Now, do you think? I think those men at Mount Rushmore, they were the men of the times.
I think so too.
And it's just the way it is. And all slave owners did not mistreat their slaves.
Yeah.
And
That's right.
Washington, I think George Washington gave slaves. I think he gave them pensions or something.
Oh, really?
Something like that. But I mean, we just need to get off that. And just like last night, the DNC circus. Oh God! Here comes Maxine Waters with her James Brown wig on, and you know she's got to have the hair hat. But
terrible.
She that was just ridiculous. The whole thing, you know, bringing up the stuff from the 1960s, which made her freshman in college at that time.
Wow. Really?
You know, yeah, I mean, she was a young woman at that time. She had to be.
Yeah.
Why bringing that stuff up? I mean, I looked and seen two different views of the convention. CNN would not pan left or right, but Fox, if you noticed, they panned 360.
They showed the empty seats, didn't they?
They showed the empty seats.
Now, it's not the main event, so it's kind of understandable that there would be empty seats.
Yeah.
You know, because then, I mean, who cares about Cortez? Sandy Cortez, oh my gosh.
Oh, God.
She was trying hard to be, like, passionate and authoritative.
You talking about AOC?
Yeah, AOC. I call her Sandy Cortez.
Yes.
Hat tip to my competitor, Tucker.
What does it? Close your mouth.
Yeah. I mean, she's pretty. She is pretty. But she shouldn't be talking.
Right. Go ahead.
Terrible.
She's all right, man. But look, the thing is all this, this drama and bringing up things from 60, almost 70 years now.
Yeah.
Old news, you know, just like we said, Mount Rushmore is a men of the time, slavery, a time of the time. And a man down there in Louisiana was talking about his grandmother, you know, hey, no skin off my back. I mean, she did what she wanted to do. And let's look at the times when she did it. She did it when she had a right to do it.
And if you listen to what Jeff's reasoning was, it wasn't because he was black. It wasn't because MLK was black. It was because he was pushing mess.
Yeah.
Maybe she would have served other black people who were polite and not pushing mess, or at least maybe behind the scenes they were, but they weren't so out in the public with it.
But you have to look at when she did it too, James. She did it when she had a right to do. That's why I say I don't get young people today trying to reach back to the stuff that they were not born or around at the time. You don't get to jump on that. It's just old stuff. It's old, and you know, pushing mess. In other words, like going to the breakfast counter or sitting on the bus and it being staged, all that stuff, and just like the King family forgave the guy that killed him because you can't hold on to that hate.
Oh yeah, true. They should forgive.
And it made blacks work. If you really think about it, you were talking about the unions. We get on that. It made the blacks actually act worse than the blacks that came up before that.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally. The civil rights movement and all this union stuff, it spoils people. And when you're rewarded for crying racism, you're just going to keep on crying racism. And it's a bad reward. It makes you worse. Terrible.
Yeah, and unions are not unions are not all good like people think. And I mean, when you start thinking about unions back then, when you had segregation, maybe they were needed then, but they have turned into a mess. Look at the teachers union.
Oh, yeah.
It needs to be abolished.
I'm with it. I'm with you.
You know, but it's the same thing with civil rights. It's
basically,
worse.
It's kind of saying that you, little man, are too weak to make a good deal for yourself with your employer as an individual. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like, you know how they have all these rules that they're making up in laws for women's equal pay and all that stuff?
Yeah.
It's basically telling the women and these would-be union employees, you're not good enough or smart enough to make a good deal for yourself to be able to get a fair paying job. Let us do it for you.
James.
Yeah.
You know that I did both ways. I contracted, and then I was salaried. And before all of that, I was in the union. I kind of seen the union as holding on to a lot of people that had very bad behavior.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The union would help keep them.
That's what Jeff from Louisiana was saying, I think, that it's hard to fire bad employees thanks to the unions, or no thanks to the unions.
And eventually those employees become shop stewards.
Wow.
And so then you perpetuate the bad behavior over and over and over again.
Yeah.
It's like the thing about some of the Negro descent people, they get stuck on racism. When is it really racist, or is it that it maybe they're prejudiced about you,
right?
Based on past behaviors,
right?
Maybe they walk on the other side of the street and clutch their purses because you're snatching them.
So many of them are. Yeah, it's true. Like
you
tell
know
the truth.
That doesn't have anything to do with racism. Actually, that's just more prejudice.
That's trauma. They're traumatized. They're being careful.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, I don't have that problem in my neighborhood, but the thing is that doesn't mean that I'll be stupid enough to think that it's like that around the whole world.
Right.
President, it is, being president, that exists. I mean,
yep.
Some of the people that call into your show that kowtow to that craziness, even if they could afford to live next door to me, I'm still going to be prejudiced against them. I don't even care what skin they are.
Yeah. True.
I'll be prejudiced, you know. But I'll let you move these wheels along, and our men's history. Kamala's economic plan is a scam.
Oh yeah, I'm not surprised.
You're going to control pricing?
I heard that.
What are the farmers going to say about that?
Right.
See, man, you guys got to wake up.
Communist.
Man.
That's desperation.
And all this, I'm a man. I'm too busy being a man. Oh, thank you, dear. Thank you.
Nice.
I'm too busy being a man where I don't have to tell you I'm a man.
Right.
I stand up when I use the bathroom.
Same here.
I'm a man. I don't need to tell nobody that. I mean, but that economic plan is a serious scam.
Yeah.
And she's never ran anything. We know how she.
I was thinking about that. You know how I was arguing. I don't know if you heard my debate. You probably didn't catch it, but
I didn't tune in on it, but I've seen bits and pieces. I don't see how you sat through that.
I know. That's what I've been told by other older men who are more mature.
Yeah. What's the other guy? The guy that you usually have on?
Dylan Burns.
Yeah.
He's the host.
Okay, we're going to fool around and have to have some SEALs come and rescue you out of Ukraine because they're definitely losing that war. The other thing, the protesters outside of United Center yesterday, same thing there. They're not voting for the Democrats because they're pissed off, and that means they're not going to vote for Trump, but they're not going to vote for you.
Yeah.
So they're in crosshairs of a whole lot of turmoil. But I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead, James.
I was on Hippy Dippy Roundtable.
Yeah.
It came up. What did you just mention that made me jump on that?
Oh man, they were just. I noticed how they were just bending down like they're getting ready to throw up when you talked and when you speak on things like prejudice versus racist versus this or not, and they were just like, "Oh, Trump is not racist," and they were just like, you can see their reaction. It's pretty girly. It's pretty girly. Girly.
There was something that
Kerr.
There was, oh yeah, terrible. Steve Kerr was talking about leadership, and it was all like, I thought he was describing Trump. In fact,
okay. Wait a minute. Let's break that down before I get off the phone. You work for the Golden State Warriors. They've taken 4 NBA championships out of the last 7. Your contract was renewed at $35 million. You're getting $17.5 million a year, and you coach in California with a luxury tax.
Wow.
And you guys just ate it up. All you basketball playing, but they just ate it up. They just had to bring him in there. And he's got a huge contract. Who he works for. The owners of the Warriors. Where are they? Here in the Bay Area.
Huh.
And golly, man. Would you guys see what these folks be doing to you guys? Come on, black people.
It's a mess.
Woo.
Well, thank you,
James,
William.
You have a good day, man. You have a good day, and we'll talk to you later, okay?
Sounds good, man. Take care.
All right.
Bye. Some super chats, guys. Joel Friday is coming up next. Shout out to, by super chats, I mean a little acknowledgement for the redheaded stepchildren called the D-Live crew. Thank you to Taking Care of Business for the ice cream and lemons, and thank you, Beta Legs, for the lemons. Appreciate you guys for your support. As I said, catch Joel Friday TV coming up next. I'm going to make sure I set up the redirect. Oh, I see it. Dropping Your Sin is what Joel Friday TV is going to be talking about coming up next. Okay? Dropping Your Sin. Joel Friday TV on YouTube and Instagram. So that is set up. So if you're over on watching the D-Live chat, YouTube chat, not on D-Live, you will be redirected over there, I think, hopefully. That's the plan. And you can also catch him on Instagram. Okay, good afternoon to you, Lisa, in the Facebook crew over there in the Northeast. Good afternoon, if you're catching it still. Some more calls, though. A first-time caller out of Iowa, Javier, is on the line. Javier, thank you for calling and holding there, man. What's up?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing well.
Hey, so I'm a person that's on the right, and I've wanted to call in to Jesse to ask him this question.
Okay.
Because I feel like Israel is the right's transgender issue. Like, you know how when you talk to a leftist about transgenderism, just reason goes out of the way.
Okay. All right.
That's how I feel about it. That, like, reason just completely leaves the room when you talk about Israel and that they do something wrong. I guess people tend to excuse it.
What is Israel doing wrong lately?
Well, first of all, what do you mean lately? Offing a whole bunch of kids.
Offing a whole bunch of kids, meaning in Gaza?
Yes.
And well, are they targeting the kids, or are they just collateral damage because Hamas is among the kids?
They're targeting everyone.
Is that because Hamas is among them?
Is that how you kill people, though? Like, is that how you end a war? Because let me give you an example.
But is it true that Hamas is among the kids? Because I'm told that Hamas is among the kids, and Israel is they are killing civilians, but everybody kills civilians when they're at a war. And when Hamas is embedded among the civilians, then according to the propaganda I've heard, which it might be true propaganda, I heard propaganda, it may be true, that Hamas is embedded among the civilians. Okay. And so Hamas is getting civilians killed, and it's good propaganda for them. Because they can say, oh, look, Israel's killing kids.
Well, let me give you an example.
Is it true that Hamas is embedded among the civilians?
No. I mean, if the IDF is the strongest, I get, what do they call it, military in the world.
Uh-huh.
And their primary target has been kids, even though they don't intend to. That means they are, in
By
fact,
kids, do you mean under 18?
Yeah,
because 17-year-olds can be soldiers, and then they're killing kids.
No, I'm talking about babies.
Babies, and their primary target is babies, and Hamas is not embedded.
I don't know if you've seen.
And you're saying
there's
Hamas.
a lot of
Wait. Just to be clear, you're saying Hamas is not embedded in among the civilians.
I never said that.
Oh, I asked you yes or no. Is it true that Hamas
could be? I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It could be.
All right, cool.
But see, I mean, you're getting emotional too.
No, I'm not.
Like I said, this is
no.
the
I
right
just want to get it
transgender
clear.
issue.
I'm not getting emotional.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, this is like people.
Is it emotional to say that Israel is
too.
killing kids?
Yes.
See, it
no,
is emotional.
It's not emotional. It's a fact. I can show you like hundreds of videos that are
of
on
babies.
Twitter. Yes.
But that's
babies
propaganda.
No, that's what we see.
Well, it could be true
propaganda.
It could be true propaganda. There's true propaganda and there's false propaganda. People can be propagating the truth.
How about it's just the truth? However you want to call it.
But is it the whole truth?
Yes.
It's not the whole truth, because the whole truth would include context.
How many Hamas terrorists do you think that exists?
I have no idea. I have no idea, man.
Calculating.
Do you consider Hamas terrorists?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
I understand.
Well,
that.
you got to look at it this way. In Mexico, I'm Mexican.
Oh,
we
nice.
have people that are called terrorists that are defending themselves against the cartel and the government.
Right. Exactly. And there are people who are whites who are feeling like they have to commit terrorist acts, like burning
but it's not
a hotel.
Terrorism at that point, though.
Right. I mean, I understand your point. It's a propaganda term, terrorist. It could be true. It could be a mischaracterization, but it's a propaganda term to call people terrorists.
But I mean, if you just think about it this way, if you just and nobody can seem to understand why this is answer this question. You know how the whole excuse of creating Israel again is because of what Hitler did, right? Since he was hunting the Jews.
So I heard. I don't know. I mean, it helps with the propaganda for sure. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
whether it was true or false propaganda, I believe it's true propaganda, of course.
Yeah, but
at
that point, you got to think about it this way. Okay, so
why are all Mexicans against Israel? You guys are more radical than the normal whites.
Well, because we understand that we were taught in history, and that Hitler killed Jews, and then Jews went and killed a whole bunch of Palestinians. And we always ask this question. So if Jews were the ones who were oppressed by Hitler,
were you taught that in Mexico?
Why didn't they take Germany? Yes, I went to school in Germany.
So
in Mexico, I'm sorry.
So in Mexico, they taught that Hitler killed the Jews, and then the Jews turned around and killed the Palestinians.
Well, that's how Israel was formed. So they needed an excuse for Israel.
According to Mexican education.
That's what it is.
That's
the Balfour Declaration. That's how it started.
No, I know. It's interesting how Mexican education characterized it. If you're telling me accurately how you were taught, which I'm not doubting you necessarily, of course. It's because Mexico is pretty socialist, and they may have a slant. They're not socialist?
We with this last president, yes. But
I feel like they've been pretty socialist for decades. Because my Mexican friends, my Mexican former coworkers would say, up here you can make money up here in America. You can make money easy, but you have to pay for everything. Whereas in Mexico, you don't have to pay for everything. That indicates some level of socialism, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
I could be completely wrong. I have no idea what Mexico's like.
On that one.
How is Mexico so corrupt if it's not socialist? I guess socialism is not the only corruption.
Do you not think capitalism, it's people that are corrupt, not
true,
not socialists?
Fair enough.
It's
I accept that.
But Mexico,
but how is
Mexico? Big issue.
Go ahead.
We have a big issue because of what the DEA and have done in Mexico. CIA destabilizing how Obama sent guns to the Mexican drug cartels in 2010. Yes, we have a lot of issues because of that, but it doesn't mean it's socialist.
But that's not fair. I mean, I get there is perhaps some trouble that's stirred up by U.S. meddling, But how are you going to blame all of the corruption of Mexico and Mexicans? You can't blame all the corruption of Mexico and Mexicans on United States, on the white man.
Well,
I mean, you
no,
can, but it's not fair. It's not accurate. Like you said, human beings are corrupt.
I have personal experience in this. Most of my family in Mexico is cartel, and everybody gets paid by someone on this side that is very high ranking.
Oh, you mean in the government?
Yes.
So you have
Everybody.
Cartel family? Don't say that.
A lot.
I disavow
A lot.
that. You're not supposed
A
to
lot.
dox. Don't dox your. Don't even come close to doxing yourself like that, man.
No. I mean, you can't. You're not guilty by association, and I hate them people as much as everybody else, even if they're my cousins. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is that I view this personally, and so
yeah.
Back to the Israel thing.
Yeah.
Let's say tomorrow, and because I never supported Donald Trump doing this or any other president going into the U.S. and killing the drug cartels. Well, because you have to kill off the DEA first. That's never going to stop until you off them because they're the first ones who let the drugs in. But
interesting.
Just imagine tomorrow, the U.S. decides to go after the cartel, and they're bombing everyone. Though, what do you think people are going to do?
If the U.S. started to bomb the cartels in Mexico...
No, just killing innocent people, because we all know where the cartel people are at. They're not going to get arrested. They're not. But let's say the U.S., in the intent of going after the cartel, which is both BS because, like I said, it's us who manages it. Imagine they start killing a whole bunch of innocent people. Do you think that everybody would support the U.S. in them doing it in the excuse that, oh, we're trying to get rid of the terrorists when you're the ones that created them?
Interesting question. So you're paralleling that, like if we were to bomb Mexico, pretending like we're going after the cartels and we know where the cartels are and they're not really where we're bombing. And you're saying that that's what effectively Israel is doing in Gaza, bombing. They're doing what basically like an ethnic cleansing, flushing out that area so they can take over the area. Is that true? I'm using the term ethnic cleansing. I'm using the term ethnic cleansing non-emotionally, meaning I'm neither for nor against it necessarily. I'm okay with a little ethnic cleansing at times, right? I'm not okay with it for the sake of the channel, but you know they're flushing out the area so they can take over because these are a problem people. So what's wrong with that?
What do you mean what's wrong with that? So we make the pit bulls, we're the ones who make the pit bulls this angry, and then we're mad that they're biting everyone else? We're the bad ones in this.
Who's we?
The U.S.
The U.S.
Israel.
Because U.S./Israel?
Yeah.
Why are not everybody evil?
In this everybody,
in this situation, everybody's evil.
No, not really, dude.
So Hamas is not evil?
Well, I would understand that. I would even be a Hamas person if tomorrow I saw my kids and my wife getting killed. What do you think I'm going to live for?
You're going to live for revenge?
Wait, why not? If they're doing it.
Oh, so one wrong justifies another?
Yes.
No, it doesn't, man. You're embracing a victim mentality on behalf of those people.
That isn't a victim mentality. That's a vengeance mentality.
Which is victimhood.
No, that's vengeance mentality.
Are you a Christian?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, then you believe in vengeance.
Yeah.
No, vengeance is not.
Yes, that's what justice is.
No, it's not.
Justice is vengeance.
Vengeance.
You punish a person when they do wrong.
Justice is God's vengeance. Justice is not
people.
Because that's God's. Because that's God's judgment.
If that was true, we would give people 10 Hail Marys and let God deal with them.
Not true. No, you don't believe in God. If you're going to say that,
no,
you don't even believe in God. So then why are you trying to say that vengeance God's justice would be 10 Hail Marys?
Buddy.
No, it's not. Let me prove it to you. Because in the Bible it says the man of authority, the law, they don't wield the sword for nothing. Meaning they don't have the authority to put you to death or put you in prison for nothing. That's under the proper orderly way of justice, not the angry vengeance crap.
But then what is Israel doing right now? So if you get carpet bombed and maybe
they're taking vengeance. Maybe they're taking vengeance in war A lot of them are vengeful people. They're not Christians, just like you're not a Christian.
Most of them are atheists, though. No, I'm not. But
Right.
most of them are atheists. And so
That's what I hear.
what I find strange is that Jews use the sympathy of the Christians by using the Bible, but they don't even believe in the Bible.
I know, clever,
So
huh?
they're using Christians as political pawns, basically.
Yep.
So I'm like, well, where are you guys getting this? I find it.
So are
loony,
you for
dude.
the
You know what I'm
whites?
saying? Any kind of Christian. My mom is.
No. I'm
hardcore
asking you.
Christian.
No, I'm asking you. Are you for the whites? Because a lot of Mexicans
What?
are for the whites. You know, in America.
What do you mean for the whites? I'm
For the whites,
everyone.
meaning like you see the attack on whites. You see like
Oh
there's
yeah, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get that part. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this whole. Yeah. No. We're
nice. Right
We're good
on.
on that one.
So
Yeah, no.
no, I get you, man. I'm kind of indifferent on this Israel issue. I like them. I like to troll you guys because a lot of you guys are really angry with Israel and say that they're doing a lot of evil things and focusing on that. But I don't think that you're being entirely fair because you're sympathizing with the vengeance feelings of the people in Palestine, and those are not decent people. They're raised badly too, just as the Israel people are raised with hate for the Palestinians. The Palestinians are raised with hate for Israel, and you're kind of siding with David versus Goliath, and you shouldn't necessarily take sides. You may be right that the Christians are all too quick to support Israel and maybe excuse the things, but I don't necessarily believe that it's going down with the baby killing the way that you're characterizing it.
Well, you need to see it on Twitter because it's.
I don't want to see that. My tender heart cannot take the sight of terrible.
It's devastating, dude. It's
devastating. I don't want to be traumatized and vengeful like that.
Well, I lived in Mexico.
How
and,
good? How is it good?
I've seen
How
that
is it okay
personally.
to kill adults and not okay to kill children?
How is it okay to kill adults and not kill children?
Because you're saying
guess,
you're killing children,
are
therefore
100%.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, children are 100% innocent. Like there's nothing that you can say about a child that is wrong. And then not only that, I mean, but this is another thing I find funny.
Yeah.
Like the people who push the LGBT stuff are the Jews. And
Shout out.
I don't know, but I don't know if you've heard this argument, and people on the right tell me this all the time. It's like, well, they're the only democracy. Look, they're the ones who have LGBT in Israel. And I'm
I know. But that's why I was happy.
Right there.
That's why I was happy that they moved the embassy from Tel Aviv, which is like the gay capital of Israel, to Jerusalem, which is more, I don't know, Jerusalem's more religious, perhaps, in my mind. So I was happy that Trump moved the embassy to Jerusalem, because I've heard of Jerusalem from the Bible, and Tel Aviv, I've only ever heard of it as being gay. So shout out to Trump for that.
But
because all of Israel is not evil. And there are leaders in Israel who are more for good things than for bad, or for less bad things than are for good. But people are so ham-fisted in their hatred of Israel, they'll celebrate when Bibi gets bashed, when in reality, Bibi's probably the best leader that they have for them or the world. Maybe I'm wrong.
Did you
but
not? Yeah. Do you? I don't listen to leftists except one. Have you ever listened to Jimmy Dore? He's more on the right now.
I don't really want to talk about name dropping or anything, but
I'm sorry.
Send
anyways,
a tip to me on my Twitter or wherever you are on social media, or on my email, and we can talk about that.
Will do. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, I guess.
I want to talk more about this, Javier. We'll talk more. Call me another day if you can, and then also send me that tip. It's an interesting topic. I like it. So.
10-4, Senor, will do, and you take care.
All right, you as well. Appreciate it. Bye.
Have a good one.
You as well. Somebody in the chat, Conspiracy Hoops, was like, Hake's demons are showing. What do you mean, man? They are all literally evil. All of them, says FEV, Flat Earth Victory. Baba. Nice. Shout out to Israel. And, no, I stand with Israel and shout out to Palestine. Isn't that the way? Nice call, Hake. Thank you, Lord Bibby42, my second best mod ever. So where are we? We are at 10 minutes to go, 9 really. I have some, let me check for super chats. Hello to the Rumble crew. Jews aren't Israel, says WT1. Yeah, that's true. That is true. They don't agree with one another. What's up, Odyssey people, D-Live crew, YouTube? Let me double check over on the buy me a coffee. I don't like missing coffees and leaving them over. Thank you, Linya and Shin, for the support, and Gregatron, as always. Harmony donated a Cash App saying, or sent me a Cash App saying, Bond. Nice. Thank you, Harmony. You want me to pass that along to Bond? Sure. Appreciate that, Harmony. But you can send directly to Bond. If you're meaning to donate to Bond, you can definitely go directly to rebuildingtheman.com. Let me type that in. Bond. Bond, church, counseling, men's forum, women's forum, donate. 1-800-411-BOND, 1-800-411-2663, rebuildingtheman.com/church, and there are links to donate there. Sweet. Okay. I have lots. Not all Mexicans hate. That's right, Santino. Yeah, I'm like, why do all Mexicans hate Israel? I said that on purpose, but I know that they don't. They don't really all hate Israel or against Israel. And I don't even know if I meant hate, but I know so many Hispanics, Mexicans, probably specifically, Hispanics, Latinos, you know, people from south of the border or whose parents are from south of the border or grandparents who are, they're in it with the whites, the alt-right, they were once called the anti-Jewish people thing, agenda. They are interesting. Man. Okay. Let me see if I can get to at least 2 calls here. Mr. Pink is on the line. Mr. Pink, thank you for calling and holding there, man. What's up?
Well, somebody must have bombed that last dude's carpet for sure.
Carpet bombing, yeah.
Yeah, he's just like, I don't know. He's all of that vengeance thing. You know, it was
well,
you got him to admit that he wasn't a Christian, and that pretty much explained all of that.
Right.
You know.
Yep.
He's just he's into the idea of I love how you connected the vengeance thing with the victimhood thing.
Yeah, cool.
That was important to acknowledge, because that as I was listening to him talk before you even said that, I was like, well, he's just looking to identify with like victims in any situation. He's not like seeing it from like an outside perspective. Like, of course, you know, Hamas does surround themselves with the general population, whether it be women, children, whoever.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like they use that term human shields, and it's not like they're holding them up physically in front of them like a shield.
Right. And I don't want to, I don't know. I don't know what the real story is, but from what I've heard is they're embedding themselves in the citizenry. And they don't mind citizens dying because it's good propaganda for them, because look how evil Israel is because they're killing civilians and children. But right, I don't think I think that they're cynical and good propagandists. There's a whole lot of propaganda in war. Go ahead.
It's a well-known fact that they do raise their children from like the first time that they can read. It's in their literature that, like, you know,
hatred.
All Jews need to die.
Yeah.
They're like not human and all that stuff.
I've heard that. So I don't know. I don't know independently, but I've heard this statement and I could believe it. Look at how they do blacks. look at how they so-called educate blacks and everybody in this country.
That all white people are out to get them, that all cops are like, they have to have the talk with their kids before they go out because all cops are out to murder them or something.
That's right.
And it's like absolutely not the case whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's just really funny. He said that the United States created the cartels. And I was just laughing, man.
It's an interesting take, huh?
You got to be kidding me with that. I understand that like wrong decisions were made when they chose to arm a certain sect of the cartel against another one and all that stuff, but like created it. That's a stretch for sure. That's a bold statement.
Yeah.
But yes, my original reasons for
But I mean,
calling,
there is some truth to some of that stuff, I suppose, because of we armed them we arm people who later become a problem. It's a mess.
Right. Same stuff happened with Taliban. They left out of Afghanistan.
That's
and now
right.
They just had a parade with all of our stuff in helicopters.
Yep. Yeah.
And it's just like, you got a point, but the word create itself, like we started it from the ground up, and like it wasn't those people that were doing it at all. It's like, the CIA went in and created all of it. Like, no, there's people there that want to do it.
That's right.
That want to be the terrorist or the cartel or whatever. And maybe that gets taken advantage of, but the word create is a stretch.
Right. Yeah.
But just my original reasons for calling. I just want a little
real fast. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I was wondering what you be able to move your calls. So don't let people bribe you to not have your show be a free speech platform like you want.
Nice.
As much as we disagree with Joe or Mark or whatever, I respect your decision to go, no, still like talking to them, even if they say crazy stuff. Doesn't matter. Like, people should be able to have the right to be wrong.
That's right. Thank you, Mr. Pig. I appreciate that.
Very sure. And then just a little humorous observation, brother, that footage of you booing the civil rights footage, like that is going to live on in my mind and infamy forever. That is
nice.
So funny. You were like, sit down, shut up, boo. That's like,
nice.
We all got this perspective of how that's like, this infallible.
Right. We're supposed to hold it in high regard with great honor. Yeah.
I mean, like, I remember, I see footage of Jesse from a long time ago talking about Martin Luther King, and he was like, oh, yeah, he's trying to explain how that guy had a good spirit and all that stuff, but even he had changed his mind on that dude.
That's right.
Over time.
So true. Thank you, man.
Anyways, it just gave me a good chuckle this morning, so I appreciate you.
Thank you. Take care, Mr. Pink in California.
Have a good day.
You as well.
Yes.
Bye. Guys, unfortunately, I couldn't take those 2 calls. C-Sal in Texas. Tejas. Our resident Latina. And Victor in California and Jaime in Minnesota. I cannot get to you guys. I have to get back to the I gotta get going. I gotta get to Joel Friday TV. Oh, Lord. Because he's gonna be, how's that sound? Adios, America. Joel Friday TV is coming up next. Let's hear how this is gonna sound. Where's my, okay, here we go. This is Dedache. I hope you enjoy this from Panoply Academy. Adios, bye.
Flesh, poo, na,
oops, sorry. Sorry about that, red headphones users. I don't think this is Christian, but it's not anti-Christian. Thank you, guys. Joel Friday next. Bye.